Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther and I'm a professional artist, dreamer, traveler, and I just had the trip of my lifetime. We went to Australia and I want to tell you guys all about it. But before we dive into it, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will not miss any of the new videos. So the story leading to this trip is actually just mind-blowing because it's the most spontaneous trip I ever took. Some time ago, like maybe in November, I had a dream that I was in Australia and I was just super happy. So I remember like just the dream and the experiences, the colors being like so real and vibrant in my dream, and I just had this like peaceful feeling that is really rare to have, and especially in the dreams. Like it was one of those dreams that like you really fully present and you just can feel and smell and touch, and it just was this like super beautiful, wholesome experience. And I woke up and I told my husband like, hey Paul, like I just had this dream, and it was like I was in Australia for 2 days and I was extremely happy. After some time he was like, well, might as well go to Australia. And I think we had some miles from way before that we can use to fly that direction, so it just like aligned perfectly. And my visa came like last moment, basically before the trip, so I was like not fully even preparing for the trip. And the way it happened, the spontaneous how it was, it was just insane, but super wholesome at the same time. So baby, what's going on?
I'm driving on the other side today.
You didn't expect that coming?
Nope.
Not at all.
Not at all.
That's so weird. I didn't even think about it.
Yep.
So what are you gonna do now?
Oh, I think it's okay.
You're gonna watch a video?
I'm gonna watch a YouTube tutorial and then...
It's gonna be fine.
No, I think you get used to it pretty fast.
So we flew into Brisbane and we just loved it from the first moment on. It was like so different, and like you see completely different birds, you see completely different like way of living and architecture. Even though it's a town with like skyscrapers, like they look completely different than skyscrapers in Europe or in US. We spent the day in Brisbane and we went to the bakery, we walked in town, we went to botanical garden. This is so cool, those called elephant apples. Such big fruits.
They're called elephant apples.
Yeah.
They're like really huge. They're everywhere here on this tree. Oh, they look so unique.
Can you hold it?
Yeah.
I want to take glasses.
Look at those. They're so beautiful. So beautiful. Hey. Wow. Wow.
Hey baby, what are you doing?
They're really heavy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're like potatoes.
They're really like potatoes. Tree potatoes.
Sweet potatoes?
Tree potatoes.
Tree potatoes.
So cool. Oh, some fell down here. So the tree is called the African sausage tree.
So African sausage
Yeah,
tree.
so that's why I had this relationship, you know, the German love sausages. So.
Yeah. I see. It was really magical and beautiful, and then we head on towards Byron Bay. And as driving like a little bit through countryside or like this like inner land, it was already just opening up all of these beautiful landscapes, and it was like super inspiring. And when we got to Byron, or actually like we lived in Suffolk Park, which is like close to Byron, I think it was the most perfect place to stay.
A little the ocean. Yeah.
Do you think it's the ocean?
Yeah. It's all nice. It's nice. Cool. There's a barbecue.
There's even a barbecue?
Yeah, a grill.
Grill. The couch. Even a good coffee machine.
Yeah.
So you guys, this is a really good example of Airbnbs. Like we want to have our own Airbnb one day, and we are like really collecting good experiences and not so good experiences. So they have this like super nice professional coffee machine, and they even left us coffee, and it's like a local brand, and it's super cool.
It smells really, really good.
Yeah. It does. And it was like this little vacation town, or I mean, it's right on the ocean, and it's really open, and I don't know, we loved everything. Like we stayed there majority of our time, and the bakeries and people and creativity, just everything is so, everyone there is like really open and spiritual and creative. There's like all of this art things going on, and there's also a lot of surfers. They wake up really early. I love bakery, and I love like eating bakery for breakfast. Over there, I don't know if it's like everywhere in Australia or it's a thing with those like smaller towns where like, it's a lot of like surfing going on, but they have like bakeries open at like 4:30 in the morning. I mean, some open at 5, 6, but yeah, it was interesting because especially with jet lag and the time difference, yeah, we have to adjust to a new schedule, but it was really good. We woke up every morning to see sunrise. It was like just like 5-10 minutes walk to the beach where we stayed, and it was just like this like massive ocean, and like people are surfing and walking the dogs, and it just felt like so peaceful, and everyone there like meeting the sun like in the morning, and it just like super magical, super beautiful, like so grounding to start day like that. I realized how much I missed it because I grew up in the coastal town with like walking distance to the beach, and this is something that I realize I'm really missing wherever else I live, where I don't have this opportunity just to go to the beach in the morning and spend some time with myself and with God and just like process things and be grounded like first thing on in the morning, because the beauty and the air, I like to say air is tasty in places like that, like when especially on the sea or in the coastal towns, air is just so tasty and it's so different. Like you breathe your full breath and you just like captivated with the beauty first thing in the morning. It's like keeps you like rolling and going through the day and inspires you. So that was really great. It's definitely a morning culture.
It's beautiful. I didn't expect that of Australia. I had no idea what's going on here.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
So we just bought it to get whale watching. To go whale watching.
See if it's a success, but we prayed to see whales. So.
Yeah, we prayed a lot to see whales. So hopefully we'll see a lot of whales. Cool outfits. Yeah.
The most beautiful thing about this trip was not having expectation and just go day by day. And because we didn't know if we were gonna go and what we're gonna do there, it just like felt right. We completely like surrendered to wherever gonna happen, wherever God wants to do in this time. And yeah, every day we're like, okay, what this day brings and like what we wanna do. And like we went to the beach, we went for breakfast, and then it's like, oh, there's like this wildlife sanctuary there. We're passing koala area. Slow down.
Mm-hmm. We're really slowing down. To not run over the koalas.
And yeah, the traffic is just insane. They waking up pretty early over here.
Yeah.
I feel like a sluggard.
Mm-hmm.
We went to see some of the local animals, and that was really cool.
Yeah, it sat down. It can sit. Oh, look at those paws, those claws. Those are giant. Wow.
I like their concept, like wildlife sanctuary versus a zoo, because it's mostly rescued local animals. So that was really cool, and I got to hold a koala. It was like just the best thing ever. It's like the highlight of the trip. It almost made me cry. And we fed kangaroos. That was also really, really, really sweet and cool.
And what are we doing now?
We're going to kangaroos. We're gonna see kangaroos. Maybe you can even pet them.
I think you can pet them, you can even feed them.
Oh, look at them! They're
Wow, that's an abundance of kangaroos. What do you got there, my love?
I got some kangaroo snacks. They're so lazy. Perfect. Pauli, what are you doing?
Feeding a kangaroo and petting it.
So that was one of the days, and another day we went on this like extra long, like I don't know, 2-3 hours hike towards the waterfall. And the weather was like, it's fall there, so it's not like super warm, but it's not also cold. But it was like pretty chill. So we were hiking all like, I don't know, half a day. Isn't this beautiful? Look at my hiking outfit. Hiking shoes. Just got them.
It's good we got those shoes.
For sure good we got those shoes. We are not the most hike prepared people in here. And then you have to do rock climbing, and people were doing this like with babies, like in their backpacks, and then I was like, okay, I guess that's what you do when you travel as a family. So. You guys know the way to the waterfall, and
You have to basically climb over all the big boulders, all the big rocks.
yeah,
Pretty epic.
we're making it.
We found wild corn
That's how it grows.
growing on a tree.
It looks like really like corn.
Yum.
And there is some other berries.
Yeah. Corn and blueberries. Right on the track.
To eat.
So I think my corn is ready to put to the campfire and to eat. Put it on my sticks here. And I have some nice
They
corn.
already have sticks for you.
Yeah, it's already attached.
It is not a wild corn though.
Yeah,
It's a flower,
it's
right?
a flower. But just for fun, it's a corn.
So cool, you guys. In case you're wondering how to get ideas for abstract mark making. This is insane. This is like, I don't know exactly what it is, but Paul says that it might be the ways of the box. And they just carve in. So cool. It was just really fun to see. And yeah, post swim in the waterfall. I think it was really cold for me, so I didn't do that, but I made some shots.
Qual escudo?
Hey baby.
It was for sure the most magical, beautiful experience in terms of like I never seen waterfalls. I seen small waterfalls that like, you know, they just like go over the rocks like this, and it's not so epic. So that waterfall was like super epic, and it was like splashing, and it's like you can like feel water coming your way like with the wind from the waterfall, and it just it's glorious feeling. It's hard to describe, but it was just really, really beautiful moment.
Yeah, he's super fat. What do you think?
It's a funny bird. Never seen them in real life.
He's so chill, right? Just waiting there.
It's your friend.
So that was our trip to Minion Falls, and all the way, like on the way back from Minion Falls, we stopped in this like random small town called Bangala or something like that, and we just got to see this like super wholesome experience with. They had car racing, like this like. I don't know, it was like for children like from the schools or something, but the whole town gathered, and it was like coffees and ice cream and like the farmers market, and then there was like all of these people participating in those like small funny car racing like throughout the whole time. So that was like really unique, I would say. I really like also that we went over the season, so we experienced a lot of local culture and got to see how people live in those regions without having the like tourist perspective, which I really admire. And like this is, I think, my favorite thing in all of the travels, where you just got to connect with local people and local culture and see how the life is from inside out instead of just having a tourist perspective. Australia definitely gave me a fresh new inspiration, and I'm just overwhelmed of how much inspiration I have in the moment, and I'm excited to see how it's going to influence my work. I did a lot of different sketches. I sketched kangaroos and koalas, I sketched on the beach. I made myself a little challenge to paint as much as possible outside and just like soak into those moments. I did watercolors in the morning. I had one like specific really beautiful morning where this like little child came to me, and like she was just like playing around and like touching my paint, so I let her paint, and I feel like she taught me a lot in this moment of like how to loosen up in my art even more, because I had this like urge to like, oh, you paint this way and you paint this way, but she was just like doing her own thing, and in the end she created the most amazing composition with just like different color spots of like watercolor, which was really just, I don't know, just good to see that something so beautiful can come from like a pure expression of freedom and being in the moment, and the child taught me that, and that was really, really beautiful. I really loved the local community, the art community. We got to go to some fun like sip and dip type of place, like a garden party with like a lot of people just like coming and painting and like chatting. And like I heard of those things, I never attended them myself, but it felt really good. It felt really good just to be surrounded by people who might not be artists, but they just really love and appreciate creativity, and they want to do something creative, and they have their like dreams and aspiration and the ways that art helps them to connect to themselves, and their stories were really powerful. we spent a lot of time just connecting to people and spending time with people, learning about them in Australia and like their stories and what they're doing and like what God is doing in the land, what is what's happening in Australia. It's I think was also one of the most valuable things. I love when the trips are not just sightseeing but also connecting to people and seeing what's happening in the country and the hearts of the people. I think is like the most valuable thing of all.
We did a crazy hike today.
So good.
Did Esther tell you about it already?
So many things. They will not fit in this video because every day was something new and beautiful, and it just like one day went for 1 month, I would say, in terms of how we felt and what we experienced. But most of the time just in Byron, making the trips. On the way back, we decided to fly from Sydney, so like to make a road trip with some stops in between. That was also really wonderful. We didn't plan again, like besides the town where we spent the night in between, like where to stop and what to see. But it was really interesting that we both felt like drawn to stop at this one place called, I think it's Solidarity Islands or something like that. Paul saw the sign on the road as we were driving, and I was just like researching the area and seeing where we could stop, and I saw this like those islands, and I'm like, there's a picture of kangaroo, and maybe we can see some in the wild because we saw some in the sanctuary. We wanna check this area out because we saw it on the map, and on the Google location they had all these pictures with kangaroos like all over the hills, like crazy, insane. So
maybe to the left for now. Yesterday we were really trying to find like one kangaroo, one wallaby
in the city.
and in the city somewhere, and we found one. So we just saw our first kangaroo.
Yeah.
A wallaby, I think.
Is it a wallaby?
Hey, he's like really looking.
But my ultimate dream was just to see them in the wild. I somehow always imagine Australia, and I thought like if I go to Australia I have to see kangaroos hopping in the wild. It's like I don't know, just had this picture, and I was like, I really gotta see it. And we went before we left Byron, in this neighborhood where people say like sometimes on the dusk like they're coming around because it's like the neighborhood next to the like forest area or something. And we saw one, but it was so far away, like you can barely see it. So when we went to those like islands park, that was insane. That was like the most random thing, but it was like so special. And I was praying the whole trip like to see kangaroos in the wild. And as the trip was coming to the end, I was like, it's the only thing I want to do, like while we're still here. So that was just so beautiful and wholesome. And we stopped there and we started walking through this national park, or I don't even know what it was, just like amazing area. And it was those like fields over the sea, like on the hills, and there was like just full of kangaroos. I mean the smaller ones like the wallabies, but they were just everywhere, and it was like moms with babies and bigger kangaroos, and like they were all like, some were like laying in the grass, some were hopping around, and you have like this mountains and hills, and then you have like the ocean, and then there's kangaroos hopping, and you can come so close to them, like they're not afraid. So I got to sketch them, and I was like just going around, like sitting from different positions, like sketching them from life. That was just such an like enriching experience. And then we were going back, there was like a lot of waves, and you can see dolphins like jumping from the waves. That was like, that day and that trip alone, it was like probably worth flying to Australia just to see that, because it's the most beautiful day and moment, like in the nature, that I ever had in my life. So the most wholesome experience ever, like totally worth it. And yeah, and then we just had to Sydney. We had some stops in between and yeah, painted more. We finished our journey in Sydney. I would not say it's my favorite. Like, I don't like big cities in general. I feel like Brisbane was somewhere in between. Sydney was a lot more busy and like business driven, really fast. It was really good though. We took a ferry to the Manly Island and we were trying to search for penguins there because there was like penguin signs, so we were like, might as well. Didn't see any, but we took it really slow and we saw the opera. Went around, ate breakfast, just really trying like to see where we end up. And this was just like really, I think, like the most right approach for us in this trip, and especially in the city. So it was really beautiful also last day, and yeah, and then we flew back, and it was barely 2 weeks, but it for sure was the most impactful trip of my life, without exaggeration. And the most beautiful location I ever been. The most wholesome vacation experience. Just everything puzzled up together. Even though we didn't plan like anything, we like booked our Airbnb last moment. We booked our tickets before we got a visa, and visa came last moment. So many things just like happened last moment, but it was just like fully, I don't know how to explain. It was just the best trip of my life. So this was a trip, and you will probably see me creating a lot of work inspired by the Australia, by its colors and textures, and I will be sharing more of specific experiences as I create the work, because I feel like it's gonna reflect in my work a lot. And let me know if you like this format, if you like the story, would you like to see similar content in the future. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.